What's the best comeback to a "wow, you talk? You're always so quiet" response? Honestly, as childish as it is, I often just stick my tongue out, woman shrugging. Cake day, you never talk to me. Or, you talk to me, just not with me. I can sing. I hate every chimp I see, from chimpanzee to chimpanzee. Better to keep your mouth shut and let people think you're stupid rather than open it and remove all doubt. Mark Twain. What does that mean? Better say something or they'll think you're stupid. Takes one to know one. Swish. Care to join me? Followed by an uncomfortable stare. You should try it sometime. Jim Halpert's the camera. Well, unlike you, I know when to shut the fuck up. This is just like splashing a poison potion down, it hurts every living thing in the area. Well, you better have a bucket of milk on hand. This isn't a retort, but I've often found that when a social group considers a particular person quiet, it's often because they're not listened to or spoken over in the group conversation, so they tend to stay quiet. I have a few beautiful friendships with people considered quiet by others simply because I engaged with them, gave them space to reply and listened to them. From that we realized that we had cool things in common and friendships blossomed from there. People listening to reply, not to hear and engage with what the person is actually saying, is one of our biggest shortcomings as humans. We just don't pay attention sometimes. You seem like a good person and a great friend. I know, right? You need to sell it with that amount of enthusiasm and volume. That person will never bug you again. Then go back to being quiet and reserved. I had a child ask me if I ever talk and I said no, I don't talk, I think out loud. He spent months arguing with me that people couldn't think out loud. He would ask every adult he saw if it was possible and they always said yes. I love this one and can totally relate, having a niece and nephew. The kind of stuff that can absolutely blow their mind and they are in between believing you, because you're an adult, and not believing you, because of how many times they've been fooled by uncle. Pretty envious over here. I thought being an uncle would be sweet. Like being a dad but with zero responsibilities and we'd be homies. But he's literally tried to drown me to steal my wife and was super mad I didn't die forever. And the comments about wanting to feel and see what my blood is like on the outside are hella weird. That kid needs therapy. Write I am mute on a piece of paper. Convince everyone that it's true, too. No. Tell them you're mute and get them to believe it. No one plans a murder out loud. I too like heavy metal and Assassin's Creed. Me three, but not at the same time. Just start making noises. Beep boop. Squeak vroom. They've shut down the main reactor, we'll be destroyed for sure. This is madness. Start using sign language. I only know one sign, but it's recognized internationally. Gotta be careful on the audience when making the BJ motion. As much as we want to be defensive when people say this, the reason why they point it out is because it makes them feel self-conscious. I've never really said much more than yeah, I'm pretty reserved sometimes. They learn that it's who I am, not a reflection of how I feel around them personally. They see I've confidently owned it, and they end up respecting that. I definitely understand the frustration though. It's such an unwelcome shift of attention and this sudden pressure. Witty comebacks just read as rude sometimes though. Even though their question reads as rude to us. 100% agree. I'd say 9 times out of 10, this is their way to include us in the conversation. When someone says something after being quiet, how is wow, you talk a way to further encourage them to talk? What comes through the mind of someone who thinks that is a good way to make someone quiet keep on talking? Yeah, I guess I'm just not a chatty person. 9 times out of 10, when someone says that, it isn't a personal attack. They're just trying to make conversation, and they go for the only thing they know about you, which is that you're quiet, because you never fucking talk to people so they can find something to talk about with you. As a comment above said, this thread is a great example of how Reddit does not understand how to act in real life. I'm cringing so hard by picturing all these answers playing out in real life. gosh. You have to scroll way too much to find a couple of good answers that resemble normal people interactions. This really isn't the place to ask for social advice. This is the perfect question to ask to see how Redditors don't know how to socially function with people in the real world. The amount of snark in this thread is enough be labeled undesirable for any sort of social gathering. No, see, these are what people wish they could say in such a situation. If it actually happened, the grand majority would flub the execution. Maybe when I'm around you and let them bask in it. I like you're not. If you're feeling extra petty, catch them one day when they're quiet and say, wow, you're silent? You usually never shut up. I've posted this before, but I was teasing a coworker once about being quiet and a mutual friend of ours piped up, maybe he's just quiet around you because he doesn't fucking like you. We laughed about it, but I sure as hell don't tease people about being quiet anymore. I said this to my mom once. She had a friendship that she had grown out of but was committed to checking in with the person via email and Christmas cards. The other person never replied. This made my mom so very indignant. All she would do is pick at her metaphorical scab of hurt of no reply when I asked why she was trying so hard to connect with someone she didn't like that much, or why she cared about whether this person replied or not. This conversation had a recurrence of once every 6 months for a couple of years until I finally said, Mom, she probably doesn't like you either. Not replying is a normal reaction for people whose relationships grow apart. She hasn't complained since. Don't fret it, don't sweat it, don't worry, he spoke. You're not the same people, you're not the same folk. This isn't an action of spiteful design. She just doesn't like you. That's perfectly fine. You talk enough for the both of us. You don't talk much, do you, Case? Taz talks enough for the both of us. What's your humor setting? I do, with people I like though. Well, if you have nothing nice to say, it's better to say nothing at all. I was raised by librarians. Oh, that's neat. Did you? Quality over quantity. Especially true with anxiety. What words are you absolutely sure you want/need to say given the risk of embarrassment? Shout out to everyone from r/selective mutism that identifies with this but stays quiet because that's what we do, lol. I just think it's funny how some people can talk so much and say so little. Restated, you may talk more but I say more. Why waste time? Say a lot word when few word do trick, Kevin. A 10-second stare followed by just turning away. I did this to a girl I work with because she said I smile too much. Made me kinda bummed though, cause after she said that every time I smiled at someone after that I wondered what TF I was even smiling for. Edit, I just want to say she's not a bitch, and she's my friend, but that one moment is an example for the comment that I replied to, not a representation of my relationship with her. I've been working with her for half a year and she's a friend of mine, and it's sad seeing so many people calling her a bitch based on my comment. Guys, spread kindness. Don't let her stop you. We need more of your happiness in this world. Just smile. Unlike some people, hint to them, I don't speak just to hear my own voice. My mother would occasionally ask my father why he didn't talk more in social situations, and my father would reply, sometimes it's better for people to wonder why you didn't say anything than to wonder why you did. A quiet person says, I like this. Why did you say it? Eat my ass, Karen. Wait, you can see me? I've mastered the ability of standing so incredibly still that I become invisible to the eye. Crunch.